Okay. Siman Shin Vav.
Save Daled or Hey?
We're really holding Siv Daled. Huh? Foza Makom Shel Yudim Beis Medrash. Ken. Chabad. Ken ze Knesset Chabad. Hashem Mochiach Alav. Beis Menachem Mendel. Huh? לך? השם שלך מנחם מנדל? זה השם. על שם? אה? הסבא? אוקיי. זה לא רק שם חב"די. הצמח צדק הראשון, הרב קרוכמל, מנחם מנדל קרוכמל, היה 100 שנה, חי 100 שנה לפני הבעל שם טוב. כן? כן? אז והשם שלו היה מנחם מנדל. לא, הרבי השלישי של חב"ד, הצמח צדק, השם שלו היה מנחם מנדל. וגם הנכד שלו, הרבי השביעי, sorry, I still didn't get to it. I saw you tried to call me today. Sorry. Thank you for the reminder, because without a reminder, I'll keep on forgetting, but I didn't get to it yet. But I'll get to it. Okay. Siman Shin Vav. אתה רוצה שולחן ערוך? אני לומד עכשיו מתחיל סימן שין חובוב. Yeah, give him a שולחן ערוך. Yeah. כן. Yerichan and Shkirk for joining us.
Shkoye for teaching us.
Okay. Yeah, it's Siman Shin Vav. We'll start again from the beginning because we have a few people that are joining us. Yes. It's a very important siman that has to do with swimming on Shabbos, about going to Mikvah, and obviously the politic of the day, not of the day, but the century. It was a Haisa Mikvah on Shabbos. You're allowed to go to Haisa Mikvah on Shabbos. You're not allowed to go to Haisa Mikvah on Shabbos. And then there is taking a shower on Shabbos, and then there's taking a shower on Yom Tov, which that we'll do after we finish Siman Shin Chavav, which is in Hilchas Yom Tov, Siman Tov Kuf Yudala, which is the din of taking a shower on Yom Tov. Also, Cham Lirchatz Kol Gufei Rebbe B'cham Beinim B'kli Beinim B'karka Afilu Hucham B'erev Shabbos. Some said it's also like Zeres Rechitza. Why? Ibnei Balonim, because the people that were at the bathhouses, Shemachamim b'Shabbos, they used to cook water on Shabbos. They used to say that cook the water on Friday. Even though we're not choshed that a yid should be machal Shabbos bezodam, mekal hoyu noisem eitzim tak samayim tzachnim ebayyer. Samach l'chashechem emizbarim b'hoyulchem kol Shabbos. Machamim samayim shalayim. V'dov is also mishum zeh shem yichata. This is the old gzeir of Shemichata B'Gecholim. If you have cold water and you want to heat it up, you need to have a blech. Or it needs to be cooked. We're mekel, Ashkenazim are mekel, gets to be cooked, which is how much before Shabbos?
A third.
A third, or better 50%.
Yeah, 50%.
50% or a third. The vikach also called the chol adam lirchitz b'cham afil shloim merchitz shabalanim. Fil lishpach ma'im al guf lishtat of shein ze derech rechitz shabemerchitz. Shesham achnes guf v'var v'toich hamayim. Still, Chacham said it's also. Afil rechitz kol ever ve'ever levade v'loy reiv guf v'vasachas. Still, afal pichen loy chilka chacham b'gzeros. Chacham said it's all also, and it's all part of Gzeris Merchatzos. It's all Rechitza b'Shabbos, it's also. Kivin shal kolponim, doim mektsas l'Rechitza shebemerchetz, sheroichitz kol gufay, oy rubai. This is all Gzeris Merchatzos. Chacham said, no Rechitza on Shabbos. The Alter Rebbe is bringing here from the Ran, a Chidush. simple pshat in the Gemara, which we'll learn next week and Tuesday night, is that the Gzeris Merchatzos is that the ballonim were over mamish, they were over on Shabbos. The Ran doesn't say it's a pella to say the Yidden or mamish did their thing. Therefore, the Ran says it wasn't such a big thing. It was Jews that they didn't have a blech. They didn't have a blech, but still, eventually, it can come to doing a Yisadei rice.
A blech with the mikvah.
They didn't. That's what the Ran says, that they didn't do. They would put the cold water on the fire a minute before kashecha, and they didn't do grufuk tuma.
We're talking about the bathhouse.
Yeah,
So they had the fire under the bathhouse.
and that
I mean,
depends
on-
which
on-
under
under
the
the
in the fancy ones, but a lot of the non fancy ones, they would just cook pots of water. You're true. Whatever the Ran's saying would not answer for the fancy baths, which we know, which the Romans, Marshall, built bath we see today, the bathhouses that they built, which is that they put a fire underneath. And that would okay. The Ran's going to say that the story of the Balonim in the Gemara was not those fancy bathhouses. It was talking about the primitive bathhouses where they would push it full pots of water and then pour it into the bathtubs.
Uh-huh.
That's what Don is going to have to say. Anyway, the Tosfos is showing him on the daf, and I want to discuss it next week in the Monday and the Tuesday night cheer. Has this whole idea that this Gzeres Machatzos is a Gdeira Keduma. Gdeira Keduma means like it was, I don't know, from the days of David and Shloima, but it's the days from the Bishuv Meprachi and Nita Arbeli, like before the time of the Mishnayos. That's what Tosfos Yishonim says. We'll discuss it next week. But yeah, you're right. There's like that little tzarechiyun on the pshat Iran. Aval muter lirchitz b'cham and ponav yod veragla b'shori vodim. You're allowed to wash ponav yod veragla. All sheini roichet roiv gufay. As long as he's not washing roiv gufay. L'chem moken shem shem minig. If there's no minig, muter lish shalil b'shlavana b'shabbos kein it's lirchitz el panev shalmata ben yach kisel. That a woman on Shabbos is allowed to make a hefsek taira. You just have to make sure that to teach the women not to take a cloth with hot water and starting to, because that's schita. They should just take water with their hands and wash it off good. It's brought in Sfonim HaKadoshim that a woman that goes to Mikvah Motzah Shabbos has a big schus. Chol zeh b'chamei oir. B'chamei tverya muter lirchat afil lachas kol gufei yachad b'tei chamayim etzachlam b'tzaynim. In cold water, you're allowed to. We'll talk in a minute about what
Or is a mikvah being heated by by fire.
thermal water from under the ground. Kol makom lo yitir b'chamei tverya l'kshem b'karka. It's only if it's b'karka. L'kshem b'kli dinim k'chamei oir. If it's b'kli, it's the person can't notice how the heat came. They should call it b'kli in a nikah b'chamei oir l'chamei tverya. V'yeshlig zer leilu mipnei elu. V'yesh emrim alocha beis shlo yitiru chamei tverya elek she'ein hamakom mekuda. Lim hamakom mekuda also b'nei shabbat l'dei zevas l'si b'Shabbos. And that's the shit of the Rif and the Goinim that perhaps the Rambam that Chamei Tverya is only in a thermal bath, which is in the wild, a river that everyone could see that it's a thermal bath. But if it's indoors, that you're going to come daily day Zeya. And anyway, Zeya is also b'Shabbos. Well, the second sheet, which is Tosfos, I don't understand. How can you say such a thing? Tosfos, the Rosh, the Ramban also holds that way. The Rashba holds that way. Many Rishonim say, I understand. The Gzeida of Zeya, that you're not allowed to go to the Schwitz, is because if you're going to do Zeya, you're going to do Rechitza. But with Chamei Tverya, what are you scared? You're allowed to be Rechitz. So it's saying, and then so what's the big deal? Today he'll be Mazia b'Chamei Tverya, and tomorrow he'll be Reichitz b'Chamei Tverya. Chamei Tverya is the Chmuta. So what's the big deal? The other shit holds then that Zeya it's not like two Gzeidas. and we'll learn, and when we learn in Hilchos Yom Tov, we'll see it more clear. It's a general thing. If a person is allowed to be mazia, then they were scared that person are going to come to the day of chitzas. I don't care if you're mazia through Chametz or not. Inyan alocha divrei sofrim hochelach nachra mekel. The bottom line is, Alter Rebbe says lakula. Okay. I'm a Samaim Shachametari also. I'm Shalotecha. I feel in Badyam Silon Shell, Tsana no May, Upi Silon Yotzchut Lama Mem, Nishwach, Loka Shabakar Kavais and Kate. Kadishis Kamama Malova Shabasim Babram, then Hama Shulchama, Bereza Kane at one of Dabra Masalo. Shemaim Alolo Nitmat with the Hama Shulchametveria. Shame the crime Dabra Myself Hevel. One is over simulation Zain, she also happened Dabra Myself Hevel. I feel Badyam. Mavavit, but also, Lachanim Mavavishlich, Vimshich. Silon Sholzain und Fert Amar Asuna Mam Nishbachim and Aluka. Emberchitz a Bain Bestier, Kilo Hoch Beshabas. Shows that I feel a Lirchitz Bahem, Pon of Yoda Veragov, I feel a Eber Echel Belvada. Again, this we didn't learn this Tosis, maybe we'll learn it next week on Tuesday. That Tosis says, what is the Pshat in the Mishnah that there was the people of the of Tverye brought a Siloin Shalmayim into the thermal waters of Chame Tverye. Rashi says they have a simple thing, a pipe that came to the and would pump cold water into. They would say take the city water of Tveria to connect it to a pipe, and the water would go into Chame Tveria. Why would they do that?
Not go through the water?
No, they just pump cold water into there. Why?
Maybe to cool it off, huh?
Number one, to cool it off. The water could get very, very hot to Chame Tveria. And number two, anyone that's ever been in Chame Tveria,
The smell.
unbelievable.
I guess.
Unbelievable. It's not like the other places in the world. Like I was talking the last few weeks about Iceland, which have thermal water from underground, but the water is pristine and clean, and this is sulfur water. It's very healthy. Ooh.
Sulfur smells like
but you know what I mean. It's I was there with my wife 27 years ago, 28 years ago. I think I mentioned that it was Friday morning, and I went. There was not a soul there. If people were there, I couldn't go in because that it's not a religious,
attraction.
But it was beautiful. It was empty. Not a soul was there. I went into the water. My wife couldn't go because she was pregnant. But we had our little Mindy with us. I remember they had a ride for little children. We put her on a ride, like, in the water, and she had a good time.
Oh, it was a whole
like a
tourist.
Yeah. But the water, the thermal water is a given geschmack. It's given a geschmack in Mikvah, but it stunk. So they pump in water, cold water, to take down there shouldn't be such boiling water, and number
Maybe
two,
the smell.
the smells. McKenna salt in the smell. It's unbelievable.
If they put fresh water, it
a little bit dilutes the smell. The Rashi says that, but Tosfos says that the story of the Chametz Veri was that they had the Eitzah. How are they gonna have fresh water get hot and not pay a nickel and a dime for heating up the water? So they put a pipe connected to the city water of Tveria, and they put it through the long river of Chame Tveria, which is boiling hot. And they come out on the other end.
hot.
Look, it's hot. So fresh water is hot, and you didn't pay a nickel and a dime for it. And that's what Chacham said. That that's what the Mishnah says. The Pshat is the Chacham said that even though Shabbos you're allowed to be Charoichet Pon of Yoda V'Raglav, but this water is also because it was heated up on and why? Because it's a davar amoisav hevel. Because this is considered atmon a davar amoisav hevel. V'im himshich silon zeh be'erev Yom Tov, derek cham shachma b'Yom Tov, shasel ben kol gufay. Ayruba, avamuta b'shtiyah. If it's on Yom Tov, you're allowed to drink it. And there's another chiddush. It's not clear in the Mishnah, but the Rishonim say this. You're allowed to wash Ponav Yodav. It's not beferish in the Mishnah. As we'll explain, it's Simatov Kuf Yud, which Bli Neder will do that. I'm not sure when. He has here a footnote, Man Gimel, which I'm not sure what's coming and going. I think whatever, there's a mistake there. But anyway, I'll explain it when we get to Simatov Kuf Yud Aleph. Pipe, system of a pipe, like the Tosfos says. If you have the system the way Rashi says, no, that's no problem. We pass like Basil, there's no scale in Shabbos. Kamoishen is bar b'simen reish nun beis. Mutter gamken lerichet zafila kol guf v'biyachad. V'amazu kamoi b'shorch mitzvaya. So that's what we passing like Toys is not like Rashi. The reason I mentioned that, why I went to Cham Tveria, is like, like it, to me, Ben Chutz Loretz. Even the Chazal say Ish V'Shulat, but every Yid is really, it's as if he's born out Israel. Like every, when you learn Mishnayos as a kid.
The Rebbe created that thing he left it from the mountain.
And Rashi says in Pashas Noach, right? Yeah. Right. So you learn about Cham Tveria, Rashi, you learn the Mishnayos. Finally come to Israel, you want to see it. No, V'Yidus, where is it? It's like so exciting to see it finally. Where's this Cham Tveria? We've always been learning in the Mishnah and the Chazal about Cham Tveria. I want to dip my toes into that Cham Tveria.
But you tell a Heimish guy that lives in Asasada, he doesn't even know.
Exactly, know what you're talking about. Exactly, I'm telling you.
American,
It's American. It's a guy, a little kid in a chocolate shop, in a candy store. Where's the Cham Tveria? Look at you like, fell off the moon. Where is the Cham Tveria? What do you mean? Rashi says in Pashas Noach. Where is the Cham Tveria?
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's there. It's right there.
There, it's in the Mishnah.
Yeah, and that's unbelievable.
And they go on.
Lo yishtat von der Metzenim kol guf is Cham kneged dem Durim nesham af shamayim shalom. Nimmt kerechets bacham kol gufe. Aber mutter lishtat betzenen acher shenes Cham metzleish neshein amayim shalom is Cham kol kach. So we say
getting cooked on his body.
Yeah. So if he goes,
perhaps that's nothing.
So, but depends which direction. If he was dunked in a cold mikveh and then he walked out and stood in front of the fireplace, the water gets warmed up and it gets warmed up good because he could stand there for 20 minutes. And the Chachamim, they went out on a limb. Zeres Machatzos is crazy. They went out on a limb to be goyzer so many gzeidas, which is like almost sound like zeda. But that's what they did. But in the other direction, if he made himself hot in front of a fireplace and Jen jumped into a cold mikveh, that's not a problem. There is the opinion that says, which is the Rosh, that a person washes Negelwasser, for example. He's not allowed to put his hands on the radiator. He has to take a towel and wipe his hands first before he puts it on the radiator. Why? They hold, when the Mishnah said, Im b'Shabbos k'hacham and shochum b'Shabbos v'asurim b'rechitza, we say asurim b'rechitza means even the pinky, is even if this water would have been cooked beheter, also, even if the water would have been cooked beheter, also a problem. So therefore, if you're going to put your hands on the radiator in Shabbos, you have to make sure your hands are dry. Because you're not allowed to be roich. It's even etzba ktana with water that was cooked on Shabbos, even though it was cooked beheter. Why is it beheter? Because it wasn't cooked to the level of yatzalad, but it's beheter. V'yesh lahachmir k'divrei. It's interesting why over here the Alter Rebbe decided yet to be machmer. Because it's still a derabanan. It's still a derabanan. Also, litten al gabi bitna kli shesh b'mayim cham. Shama yishpachu al roiv gufa b'nem tzekareich et roiv gufa b'chamim. We're going to this Gemara next week on Tuesday. That a person's not allowed to, if he has, today you have hot compressors. You can put either
We used
you
to
put
have
hot water.
a long time ago. We used to have like a
Kishkas.
rubber.
Yeah, rubber kishka. You put that water and you close it
You're clothing you.
when you put it in your stomach. Or they have,
That's what they're talking about. Or
yeah, no, but they didn't have a rubber kishka. They would have a pot.
Oh, yeah.
And the Gemara says, "Dovazeh." We'll see in a second. Afilu b'choil osor mishuma sakona. Because of chas v'sholom, it could get burnt very badly. The water is not so hot. We're scared. Today is not so hot. Tomorrow it's going to be hot. Chum said, you see, Chazal, the Torah Gedosha is very, very, very particular on a gufa vayid. The gufa vayid davzan a gezunta guf. And something which is a slight sakona for the gufa vayid, zok the Torah, dovaza afila b'choil osuk. Shema, that he's going to get burnt. Right now, the water is not hot. But Shema, next time he has a stomach ache, his wife will warm up the water in the pot. It'll be very hot, and it'll get spilled, and it'll get burnt. It's also, so you're not allowed to do it. But what's the issue of Shabbos? Because we're scared that Roiv Gufa will get washed, and then it's rechitza Roiv Gufa. If there was a little bit of water, it would have been fine. But if this water was cooked on Shabbos, even beheter, it was on a blech, it's fine. But still, if imucham of Shabbos, I feel ma'at she'ein ayad, so let this boy also. Moshe is bar, which is the shit of the Yesh Machmirim, that any water that was cooked on Shabbos, you're not allowed to wash even a etz baktana. So we see that's what the Gemara says. It's unbelievable. Chazal were very, very, very particular. The Torah Kadosh is very particular. In the the Rayit should not be b'makam asakona. Should not be b'makam asakona. That's the union of the guards that stand on the corners and make sure that the kinderlach cross safely, right? To make sure that they shouldn't stand b'makam asakona. It's a very big thing. It's nishken dova poshut. It's nishken kleinigkeit. It's adova godel b'yoyzer. To make sure that a yid is not going to be b'malkum sakona, maybe most drivers are careful. Yeah, most drivers are careful. Most kids are careful. But there are drivers that are reckless, and there are kids that are very small. They don't notice where the danger is. And the Chazal were very, very particular about the sakona of a Yiddish guf. Very, very particular. If he wants to take a cloth, put it by the fireplace, no water. He wants to put a cloth, and the cloth comes out, then he puts it on his stomach. Is a hot.
How did he warm it?
Embaya. Huh?
How did he warm up that cloth?
He puts it on the radiator. No problem.
What? It's no problem. I'm sorry.
Not a problem to take the cloth and put it on the radiator until it gets very hot, and then to put it on his stomach when there's no water involved.
That's not cooking. That's warming up. Yeah.
Right. Because it's not cooking. Exactly.
Okay.
And also, b'choil, it can never be sakona because the cloth is never gonna. Time you take it off the radiator, you put it in the stomach. It's not the davar rogel that'll get burnt from that. Water is gonna make that. Okay. Sivav. Haroichetz benor. Person that goes into cold nor is allowed to. But there's three things. Number one, when he goes out of the nor, he has to make sure to shake off the water before he walks dal damas. Mostly a nor is in the Rishus Harabim and a carmelis, and there's water on him.
But that's called carrying?
That's called carrying. It's a big pellet.
I'm a little bit confused over here.
Yeah. The second thing you have to be careful. Shaloi loshud gufoi menor, not to go swimming. Why? Because the Chazal made a special gzeira not to go swimming on Shabbos. Bishum chaviz shel shayotim. Because people sometimes when they go swimming, in order to help them swim, they take a wicker basket and they make as a tube, and the tube helps them swim, teaches them how to swim, helps them swim. So the Chazal was scared if people are going to swim in Shabbos, they're going to make. In those days, they couldn't just order an Amazon for $1.99 a tube,
Floating.
yeah, tazoi, or for 69 cents. I feel you could, so they would take a wicker basket and that could be a malach on Shabbos. It could be several malachas there. So someone said, you know what? No swimming in Shabbos. V'gam shaloi lahoshit shum davar k'goyna k'som shal pnei amayim osel afatzl malkan alkan l'nakas amayim k'moshes bar b'sum shalom tes. It's also a gzeida of Chavis. The Chazal said there was so machmer. Some things in Shabbos Chazal was so machmer that sometimes in the water you have like a little kesamim, little dirt that's floating on top of the river. So he takes with his hands and goes moves them aside. So the schmutz moves aside, and then he'll dip his hands or his whole body or his feet into the water. No. As soon as you make a movement with your hand like this, you're swimming already. Someone said, no swimming in Shabbos. A third thing, you have to be nizar, not to do schita in his ear. It's also with the Rabbanon.
So you're allowed to dunk in the river, you're not allowed to swim.
Yeah, let's swim. And you have to be careful of these three things. Number one, to dry,
But you can't dry yourself with a towel.
your hands.
I know, you can't dry
Like a
yourself.
dog, he comes out of the water.
Yeah.
It's chazai.
Because if it's a towel, it can be surfeit.
Yeah.
But when you separate, it says swimming. It's also how do you call it?
Voided, maybe?
Yeah, voided.
They're not worried that if he's gonna dunk, he's gonna swim.
No, they're not.
Taking
The bad and the good, you're separating.
Yeah, you're something good.
I hear. It's a good question. Good question. They didn't seem to be choshev.
They didn't allow it all in all.
Then I say a kosher. Vein belay amayim v'toich mamish b'komokem. Also with the very sefer. It's also with the rabbanon. There's schita on the ear is only with the rabbanon. So still, there's an issue. But people are not so knowledgeable to be careful. Not to be reich b'Shabbos, even b'tzayin. Even though menadin, there's no isur.
Talking about the river now. Still talking about the river.
Yes.
So forget.
So
They started with saying you're allowed to,
Yeah.
but now at the end,
Yeah.
forget about it.
The shaila is taking a shower. Taking a shower, cold shower in Shabbos. Cold shower could be different. Because the Lashon of Shulchan Aruch is shaloi lirchitz. And rechitza means to dunk in the water, to go into the nor. Taking a shower is called lishtatif, shituf. Lishtatif could be different than roichitz. Why?
Lishtatev,
Yeah, lishtatif.
that means to become partners.
I'm sorry, I whatever. Shituf, not shituf,
Oh,
Maloshin.
the tag.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah. So, like you said before,
and Simon Aleph, Steve Aleph. אפילו לשפוך המים על גופו להשתתף.
yeah, lishtatif. Yeah. Haitian.
מלשון
Off,
לשטוף
test.
את עצמו.
כן, לשטוף.
לשטוף את עצמו, להשתתף.
לשטוף.
בן אדם שוטף את עצמו במים. The word. שוטף.
לא לשותת. When you take a shower, how do you say in Hebrew to take a shower?
How do you say to wash your hand? לשטוף את היד.
Oh,
כן. Okay. So in the Gemara, Daf Kuf Mem Vav, and Shabbos, the Gemara makes a distinction between a chitza, which means the entire body goes into the river, or lishtatef, which means that he takes a keli and he pours the water over him.
Steve Aleph.
Right, so you have that word in Sifal. Anyway, I would say that here the lashon was shaloi lirchitz klal b'Shabbos afil b'tzayin. That's the minute, but a shower might be different. So I'll explain why. A cold shower. I'll explain why. Number one, and how to define cold is another. We have to go into defining cold.
Room
I mean,
temperature.
if you, I mean, on Shabbos anyway, on Shabbos,
You're not allowed
anyway,
turn
there's
on the
another
hot
issue.
water.
You're assuming turn on your hot water. What you're doing is you're opening the faucet in the basement. The cold water is going to hot water. You're cooking water on Shabbos.
Yeah.
That's Isa de Reis. So that's a separate issue. Okay. Uh, what's if it's Yom Tov, Lamazog? So if you put a little bit of warm, it's gefährlich because you're not. So a shower would be different. Why? Because what are the three reasons for the minig not to do rechitza b'tzayim? Number one, because he might not shake off the water before he's walking
If
down.
you're home,
Most times when a person has a keli and he's pouring water over himself with a keli, it's not in the Rishus Harabim, it's not in the Carmelis, it's in his house. What's the second reason? The second reason is because we're scared he's going to start going swimming. Most people don't swim in their bath in their shower. If you could swim in your shower,
unless you're a very small person.
you should probably call a plumber.
Unless you're a very small person.
And if you didn't call the plumber while you take the swimming in your shower, because some of your neighbors are already calling the plumber.
Yeah.
So, but you can't take it's not shaykh.
These two things
So
already.
this thing you're knocked out. The third is shaykh. What's the
hair.
difference if you went into the river or you took a cold shower? If you're scared that the person is gonna dry his hair in a way that he did schita, but that one is only one of three. It's only one of three. Now remember, it's a achshash derabonon. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's achshash derabonon deraisa because who cares? Lapoil, that's the minig, but the minig is based on three reasons. And if you're going to take cold shower, 2 out of the 3 reasons are not applicable. So l'choyda, the minig is not going to apply. So l'choyda, the minig is only not to jump into a river on Shabbos, on the lake, but a shower will give an andish. Now, what's with a swimming pool?
What's a andish?
Would be different. Would be permissible.
And today you have swimming pools. They're not too big, and the sun is heating it up.
So in general, so first we have to ask a shaila if there is the gzeira of swimming if it's shaykh in a swimming pool. So the Alter Rebbe said, the Shulchan Aruch Tzimah Lamates says depends. If the water is made with a lip that the water leaks back into the pool, so then we're not goyzer. It's different. It's like there's no gzeira. If the water that sprays out doesn't come back in, so then Chum said that looks like a river, it looks like a lake, and there is that's if you have in your chotzer, if you have a swimming pool in your chotzer. So how to look at swimming pools today? How do you view a swimming pool today? I'm not sure. Not every swimming pool is the same. Some swimming pools are made in a way that around the swimming pool you have like these grills, and if the water spritzes out, it goes through there and goes straight back into the swimming pool.
The swimming pools that are above ground.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Depends. Yesh v'yesh. Some swimming pools would have the gzeira, and some swimming pools will not have the gzeira. Yeah, it depends. It depends. There could be another issue with going swimming on Shabbos and Yom Tov anyway, which is most swimming pools are heated, so you have a different issue, which is Gezeiris Merchatzos. The whole thing over here is only if it's soinen, if it's cold. If it's cold, but if it's hot, because anyway it's Gezeiris Rechitza. So most of the swimming pools anyway, you can't go into the swimming pool on Shabbos and Yom Tov. because of Gezeres Rechitza. The only shadow would be a swimming pool which is cold, not hot. But hot, now, we go to Haisa Mikvah on Shabbos. So first of all, depends which mikveh. Rabbi Rotner makes sure that that you're not going to enjoy the mikveh. He makes sure to make it lukewarm. Yeah, you're going to read the mikveh?
Ali gave me some.
Huh?
Ali told me about it.
Where do you go?
I don't know.
Oh, so he makes sure that the mikveh is. But the other mikveh over here, this guy Rabbi Reuben.
Boiling.
Oh, he-
Where's the mikveh there?
Rabbi Reuben is on.
13.
Yeah, he's 12.
I. He's 12 and he's 13 and he's 12.
Ali wants to
The
drink.
new mikvah, like a shtiebel there, and Avenue I, on the left side, if you come walking.
I live in you are, so where even you are.
You have to you have to take a helicopter or walk all around.
Between he's 13 and he's 12.
You can't walk straight. You got to walk on Avenue J,
Yeah.
and then after
He's 15.
yeah, you could turn in at any one of those streets, and then you're back on I. And between 12 and 13, there's a building, and right after the building, there's a driveway. On the
It's a couple years.
But there's this very big house, like a very gigantic house.
no, it's not a big gigantic house. It's not a gigantic house. There is-
There's no sign on it or anything.
The shul, not really.
So I don't know.
It has a sign, the shul,
It has a sign.
yeah, it says,
Oh,
I'll
sorry.
get something right.
Okay. It says there is a sign,
I believe it.
and you go in the driveway, and towards the back, there's steps going down. It's a brand new mikveh. Brand new means 2 years old now.
Yeah.
Is it July 13th?
Yeah.
I'm 13, he's 13, he's 12. The south side. Anyhow, so yeah, that one's very hot.
No, yeah, that's on the other side of the railroad track, so.
Right.
I don't
Right.
understand why I don't see it.
Right.
That one's very hot. What's the other?
Yeah, it's very hot.
Very.
So that's a serious shaila. That's a serious shaila. And I'm not even sure we can get into the next sif now. So it's a long sif, which is about about taking the about going to the mikvah on Shabbos. But
You make a thing that you can have a hot mikvah on Shabbos. Wasn't he the one that made a?
nothing. The Alter Rebbe had nothing to do with that. The only thing the Alter Rebbe did was, until the days of the Alter Rebbe, in the average community, the women's mikveh was ice cold. And the Alter Rebbe said that that's unacceptable. That every Jewish community must have a mikveh for women, which is warm, and also the second thing was that the average community, the cheapest thing to do was to dig deep into the ground. So they would dig into the ground and they would build steps. And a woman would have to walk down, like 300 steps, and then dunk in dirty, ice cold water. It was pretty not pleasant. It was not pleasant. Alter Rebbe said that every Jewish community has to make the woman doesn't have to walk any steps. It has to be comfortable. It has to be hot, and it has to be nice.
What is there at Balanim?
What's with Zeret Balanim? Chayr is hot.
Yeah.
Alter Rebbe didn't get involved. He didn't talk about it.
I mean, what do you mean? He has to talk about it. It's there.
Okay, but he didn't. Well, probably didn't. So
I don't think he would make it for soccer without taking.
I hear. He
consideration.
probably took it in consideration. He probably felt it was mutter. I'm just saying, if you look at the long tshuva that the Alter Rebbe wrote about Tikkun Mikvahs, he never addressed it. He didn't. He just he said he wrote a long letter to all the communities, all his followers, that they should make sure to build a warm, comfortable mikvah, and he explains exactly his whole halacha. But we don't do today is whatever, do something else. Be it as it may, the revolutionary thing was, number one, the concept that it should be a hot mikveh and it should be comfortable and inviting for the woman. And number two, which is how to do it. Alter about a whole mahalach of how to do it. You build a box of this, hot water, cold water. There's a whole to do of how to do it. So the Alter Rebbe didn't address it. Probably you're right. If the Alter Rebbe felt that on Shabbos there's a problem, then he would have said something. Probably he felt cooler, but still. So, okay. We have not.
There's a person that's in the house.
With a few shorts.
Okay, so yeah, what did you say?
The guy said.
Evjid, bleibt doch noch 2 Minuten, wir haben ein Minion mit euch seit der Zente. Hmm? What'd you say?
It's fish over here at 10 o'clock.
Okay, but the Yid is here, so might as well have might have before the Tish. What?
No, I just want to say I heard your shir yesterday. Good morning, shir. Thank you for that.
Oh, amazing. Thank
Yeah,
you so
and
much for
how
joining
much
us.
time I have to talk now? You're about to end this year. Yeah, no problem.
Yes, yes,
Thanks.
yes. Yes. Okay, very good. Okay, the last sif we'll learn a mitzvah another time. It's really a hot topic, pun intended, about a hot mikveh. It's a hot topic, but yeah, it's a very geschmack sif. The next sif about going to mikveh on Shabbos, women going, about men going. You should go, you should not go. Eraisa, the Rabbonon, toveling a keli on Shabbos is also this nice.
Why would you need to travel a clear Shabbos?
Shabbos or Yom Tov? A woman ordered a whole set of dishes from Amazon, and it's like a chapt of Yom Tov. Oh, he didn't tovel it.
Wow.
Shabbos.
You're not violating any of the 39, so why not do it if you're not, right?
No, because what's we're going to learn the next sif. It's called the
Like fixing something.
yeah, it's like
that's not-
fixing something. It's called yeah. It's Kenira Metakim, Metakim Mona, Metakim Gavra. It's big. It's
The pool is not the ocean, so you do your laps in the pool. What, just don't let people see you.
no. It depends which pool. It has to be a pool which is whatever.
Leaking or not leaking.
Yeah, the water goes straight back to.
And it has a gutter. A pool
And
has a
that
gutter.
also has to be cold water. As soon as it's warm water, as soon as it's warm water, you're out of the game anyway. But if it's I mean, there could be a slight other issue about
Most
where
pools have gutters, so that's okay with the gutter. It's good.
the water has to go straight back to the pool. Not that the water
not-
is going to.
It goes in a loop or something.
Probably. But again, it got to be cold water. But as soon as it's warm water, you have a separate issue.
Most regular pools are cold water.
Yeah, true. True. Okay, very good. Shkach everyone for joining.
Outdoor pools, they're regular, they're cold.
Yeah, Hamas. Okay. Shkach for joining us. A good Tanakh.
You're gonna make a nice big